especially if they're more inner city and not affluent. It's tough to get field space. So to piggyback onto the coaching resources, if one coach knows where to find fields for that on there.
We just started doing that. We got city fields for the fall league.
Yeah.
So if they don't have a field, teams can do that. But that's the first time we've done it.
Cool.
People have been asking for it all.
Right.
Yeah, also, just because it's like the seventh time it's come up in this meeting, we actually are running high school clinics every weekend, or I am at least, and starting like 2 weeks ago. And it's something that we want to be an opportunity for players to be playing high-level Ultimate year-round, but also it can be, we discussed it being a resource for coaches where, if a coach is looking to figure out how to run a practice or teach a specific skill, they can come out to this and like watch how I'm conducting it. Or B, if, for instance, say I wanted to teach a certain skill and I knew somebody in the community taught a specific thing very well, where they could come and co-coach there. So, yeah, we have 6 or 7 girls coming in, more frequently than the boys. So, yeah, so that's an opportunity that's there.
Andy?
What if CPU had one called the gateway events? So there, more and more people can come watch League Ultimate and appreciate. We all want to increase awareness and appreciation of the sport and showcase events. And I think the suggestion maybe to go to, I don't know, see Stadium and watch some League Ultimate and say, wow, this is really cool. But there are also people who really fall in love with the sport when they get to play pickup. There's a couple of people who testified already. What if CPU actually staged a few kind of gateway events where come learn this cool new sport, come out, give it a try, you just get to play in a low pressure situation with really supportive people, and you go home thinking not just that's a cool sport, but I want to get more involved.
And USA Ultimate does fund those events through the Learn to Play initiative.
So that ties in directly with recruitment that we had brought up earlier, correct? Why don't we have recruitment on the category side? I think that's a little bit broader than what we already have up there. Let's go, Jay. All right.
As like a goal for that, we could have like an outreach calendar. So we've been talking about a calendar of our own events like within the community, but we could also have a calendar for things that are targeted towards outside people. Every club showcase, that's like the kind of thing that you want to invite everybody to, and these kind of gateway events. So as a goal, maybe within a year, have a year-long calendar of gateway events.
I think Ryan and then Teresa.
Yeah, I think specifically having a high school level sort of gateway event, maybe like a high school all-star showcase game of sorts could go a long way. Not specifically for even kids who don't play, but I see a lot of the depth of teams not being as invested or interested in the sport as say their top 4 players. So there's an event where all the team's top 4 players or so get divided into teams, and then the rest of the kids can come watch real high level where it's not just like a few guys on their teams getting touches. It's not them like messing up a point and feeling terrible about themselves. They can see what the sport has to offer, and that will help grow the high school piece.
It's a youth showcase.
Teresa.
Just thinking about, is it possible to get some sort of ultimate curriculum in middle school and high school phys ed? I mean, because Miranda and Sophia now, they play ultimate and gym at Kappa just because they started the team there. And I mean, Kappa, it's a little loose with gym compared to most other schools, but why not? Is there a way to offer it? You could have 2 weeks where you play ultimate, like the 2 weeks when you play volleyball or whatever. That gets right back to legitimacy, and it wouldn't be that hard, I don't think. The adopting is hard, but the introducing is not necessarily that hard.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, some of the schools are starting that. One of our middle schools just
to backtrack just a little bit, maybe a goal to have, for instance, with some of the stuff we were talking about, outreach to adults, could be something like every year we want to introduce Ultimate to 100 new adults. That could be a goal where the calendar, outreach events, et cetera, can tie in. Does that sound like a good way to kind of have a specific goal for that? Not that we have to be tied to this goal, but I think that might be a good way to specify that. So we'll just go to Jess and then move on. Or Devin.
For a goal can be for every high school team to have a coach, like a specific coach.
I just had a suggestion for the gateway events. I know Steve and Pitt have been working really hard for us to figure out more integration for our two teams. Like we women's scrimmage Pittsburgh East today, which I think went really well. But our men's team scrimmage in the spring and January at the call center, and so do our women's. And those can be events that they were publicized, like, hey, come watch our teams get ready for their spring season. It's in January and February before like Ultimate's really picks up the league. If you advertise to the high schools, don't know what Ultimate's about, want to sign up, come watch Pitt and CMU play. It's a national contender. CMU's trying to be a national contender. Like, everybody's moving forward, and there's there's more opportunities for people to see what's going on.
Kramer?
I was just thinking, is there any way to kind of identify who in all of our leagues and who that plays Ultimate in the area is actually teaching in the area, whether it be in a middle school or a high school? Because those are people that we can focus on very easily to say, hey, we really need coaches, we really need people, and that's where a lot of the stuff starts. When I was a middle school teacher, I was at Gettysburg Middle School. And we started just because I started throwing Frisbee at like recess with a bunch of the kids, and they all went, we want to do this after school, so we started a program there. So I mean, if we could identify who we already have in the schools that could be an ambassador, that might help out a lot.
Ryan?
So brief extension of that and what Teresa said, I'm remembering back to the days when I was in high school, we actually had somebody, 1 to 3 guys from Pitt come in for at least 2 consecutive years, and they would run a clinic for the entire week. They'd be in every gym class for the entire day. They'd give a presentation of how to play, and then they'd start games for everybody. And that actually ended up dying either my junior or senior year in high school. But there has to be some sort of previous network in Pitt that has those contacts that could potentially be called upon.
Yeah, those were run through pool. They just had to be Pitt guys, because some Pitt guys were running pool.
Okay.
But, yeah.
This is awesome. So earlier in the conversation, we had a lot of both broad ideas that like some of these categories and specific things, and that's great. What are some specific yet big goals we may want? So, go ahead.
I don't know how large Mars is, but bring in international teams.
Cool. Bringing international teams to Pittsburgh, just in general.
Yeah. I mean, I know Poultry Days. Last time I was there, they had international teams playing there, and it was great. They had even like a little Olympic stadium of aircraft tents, but there were flags around it, and it was really something to behold.
Mars used to happen like before my time, but the Finnish team would come.
Yeah.
So it used to be, but that's an awesome idea.
Yeah, really anything to grow Mars. I mean, I don't know what it finished at in 2007 was the last big year. Somebody who's running it might know. 52?
48.
48?
Yeah.
48.
It's massive.
Yeah, it was huge.
It was a dangerous amount of people.
It's a dangerous tournament.
That's what we're looking for.
Ideally, we should.
That's why
We need to live on the edge.
I agree. We got to get back to that. We need to strike fear into the hearts of the residents of Irwin.
The other thing to do is incorporate theme tournaments. So Halloween tournaments where every team has to play in a costume. Turkey tournaments where over Thanksgiving weekend it's turkey hat tournaments.
Every team has to devour a turkey.
Yeah, I mean the news loves. I mean, you want to get some. You want to get on the evening news. have a team of dedicated Smurfs from CNU come out and play a team of cavemen, and they will put that on the news.
Legitimate.
Let's get some of the top teams in the East to come back to the Pittsburgh tournament. We seem to just get the local teams.
For high school?
Yeah.
So we just bigger and better competition further away for all of our tournaments and more options, more unique options to play. I think I saw a hand back there.
Well, this is more of a smaller goal, but it's kind of, I got reminded by the kind of, almost like theme terms though, but I feel like something for the website would be advertising nearby tournaments. Like, I get emails from friends like, oh, like some people are going to a hat tournament at this college like 2 hours away, like this week, whatever. Advertising those tournaments and then organizing people that way is a way to bring people together. Be like, yeah, like I'm free this weekend, I'd like to go do something that's kind of different and maybe getting exposed to different kinds of ultimate. Like, going to play your first hat tournament is like a different step. So that might be a step towards, joining a club team a year or two from that point. But, the website, we're working with other communities, in Pennsylvania, Ohio, or nearby, like 2-3 hours away, saying like, yeah, like these schools and tournaments going on, smaller things, just like, yeah, you can drive for the weekend, have some fun, and then come home, and you're not destroyed. It's a smaller goal.
Next up, Jay.
Host college nationals, club nationals, or the U.S. Open. And how sweet would it be if we did U.S. Open and Mars same weekend?
Everybody dies.
We're thinking about big goals, right? Let's just go to the moon. But host college nationals, club nationals, or the U.S. Open.
So a major USA Ultimate tournament.
Yes.
You could also throw Worlds in there.
Couldn't be any worse than Lecco.
Country Worlds.
We'll be shut down by one.
Steph?
This is kind of for the specific goal again, but on the website, when we were mentioning website stuff, creating a directory so that rather than if I need to know that you guys are the Direwolf captains, I have to go to your website and then try and find your email addresses. Having an actual directory of captains, coaches, or just a contact for all the teams. For high school and club. Do we have a full directory?
Club and college are listed on there. I'm not sure that all of the captains are listed.
Okay.
Some of
Yeah, we talk about communication, and it's tough to try and get a hold of groups of people. Even just looking at when we were trying to do the high school clinics, you have a contact for all the high school clinics. We don't have that. So the most we could do is post on the website, hope that somebody saw it.
I mean, yeah, like legally that's.
Yeah, right. But it would have been easier if we could have been able to reach out for teams.
You could set up a listserv. People could opt in, and then they're not getting, their email's not going out. You can send it to, the listserv.
Yeah, that's fine.
Club and summer.
Are there any other very big but specific goals?
I have one.
Obtain a field site
Because if
of
we're
our
going to
own.
do US Open or something.
Yeah, Jay?
One big goal that could reflect how we're doing popularity-wise amongst, general Pittsburgh residents is if we're able to pack a small stadium like, CMU Stadium or Highmark or something for a showcase game. That would be like a strong signal that we're succeeding.
Megan?
So, maybe something else to look at is looking and contacting other colleges to start teams. I know Duquesne does not have a team. But they don't, they may have a pickup, they might have a athletic team, but they don't compete in any division. Men's or women's. Maybe looking out to students in Point Park or Chatham or, if we're looking simply to bring in more people, the more people at every level we have is a good idea.
Okay, for the sake of time, and the fact that we have a great amount of ideas and here, what we are going to do now is try to what's the word? Consolidate where we can, and then, thank you, and then and then try to prioritize these goals. So what we want to try to do here is create goals that could be something as simple as broad as increased communication, and that could, a lot of stuff could tie in there. But if a more specific goal is very important, if we believe that obtain a field site, which is such a specific goal, but if it's so important, we want to put that with increased communication, we can do that. So right now, where can we consolidate? So we have, let's start with legitimacy. Let's see, where,
You're saying like what rolls into that?
well, or does that roll into something else? From what it sounded like, legitimacy is big enough on its own that it, improve or increase the legitimacy of Ultimate in Pittsburgh. Does that sound like a good kind of word? What we've been
maybe the club showcase event,
Hosting big goals.
That's interconnected. That's transparency, that's brand identity, that's legitimacy, that's integration.
So there's a lot of things that tie in, and so, for instance, the club showcase event. If that on its own is so important, we want to have that be one of the 5 goals that USA Ultimate, that CPU is striving for. We can have that, but like you said, we could have it be increased legitimacy, community building, leadership development, etc. And club showcase could be a sub goal of all of those, but not at the top. I'm not saying what it is, but I'm saying it could be based on. Does that make sense?
So any goal or category concept could be on our priority list.
Yes. So,
What I would say is that obviously we can't do all of this stuff, or we can, but we can't do it all at the same time. So what's the most important stuff for us to be focusing on?
yeah, no, that's much more articulate than how I have it. Thanks, Jeff. So let's backstep. Let's just, what do you guys think are the most important things for us to do, whether specific or broad? Right.
I think the 3 things that we put up there that we can, it's really easy for us to do, we can really take a stab at doing, would be first getting all high school teams coached. Getting more teams isn't being good enough coaches